Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Wojciech Sorociak and I represent Polish Asphalt Pavement Association. Today we celebrate 100 years of International Bitumen Emulsion Federation, but the history of emulsion in Poland is much shorter. It dates back to 1960s, so it's a little over 5 decades, 50 years. I would like to present briefly history of emulsions in Poland, the most vital facts and publications that had significant influence on the development of emulsions in Poland, and I would like to present some statistical data. We have a very broad topic and not that much time, so we'll focus just on the most important facts. Among the authors of the presentations, there are Dawid Rzymiełka, Janusz Hariasz and Bartosz Sobieszczuk. Especially Janusz Hariasz and Bartosz Sobieszczuk have huge history in bitumen emulsions. Both of them have experience of many decades in this field. First bitumen emulsion was produced in Poland in 1968 in Tarnów, in a city located in the southern part of the country. The design of the first bitumen emulsion plant was the fact of the visit of Polish engineers in France within United Nations Development Program. Initiator of the program was Administration of Public Roads in Krakow. During this visit, Polish engineers learned the technology of bitumen emulsion production. First mill used for production needs was bought in France, and it was Atomix A, with production efficiency of 10 tons per hour. First production trials were based on the use of emulgators Seka. It was fast-breaking emulsion. Next, bitumen emulsion plants were built shortly after the first one in Czarny Piątków, Ełk and Lubartów. Until now, in these places, bitumen emulsion is produced. Until the end of 90s in Poland, there were 10 bitumen emulsion plants working. The beginnings of bitumen emulsion production in Poland are strictly connected with maintenance roads. At the beginnings, mainly these were surface dressings, and the photograph on the right, we have one of the first surface dressing done in Poland by the company Bitumen, and it lasted for over 20 years. This surface dressing was done in 1998 and the photo was done in 2020. Using bitumen emulsions in the 80s and the 90s were strictly connected in maintenance roads because these were mainly works done on Polish roads. Also now the maintenance roads are about 35% of the whole market of bitumen emulsions in Poland. In the 90s, we had first trials with microsurfacing, and the first administration that tried this technology was Administration of Public Roads in Ełk. Unfortunately, this technology is not that popular in Poland, and its development it's not big now. The barrier is very small difference of price between classical technologies, hot mix asphalt, and the technology of microsurfacing. Take into account the shorter season for emulsion technologies. It's from May to September in Poland. Road administrators rather prefer hot technologies that give longer period for works, longer season for works. Another problem is lack of naphtine asphalts, naphtine bitumen. Ninas is no longer available, which was really useful to produce microsurfacings. Now these microsurfacings have some issues. That's why it's problematic to develop this technology in Poland. First implementation of interlayer bonding with bitumen emulsion was also dated to 1990s. This technology was used both on unbound layers as well as on the interlayer bonding between asphalt layers. The widespread use of this technology of the tag coat was from the year 2000. Cold recycling with emulsion cement, it's getting more and more popular. This is technology that is widespread, and it's popular within Polish construction sites. And actually it started in the 1990s, but in the last 5 years there were new research programs developing the technology and pinpointing the importance of bitumen emulsions and making people aware that too much cement concrete is not the solution for this kind of technology. First trials with grave emulsion technology were in the year 2000 or something like in 2000s. The technology is mainly developed on the local roads. There is especially increasing popularity with this technology within the state forest areas where the hot technologies are not welcomed, mainly because of the environmental issues, because of the smell, and because of the problems with using this technology in such protected areas. Some statistical data. Here are some data from 2015 in the graph on the graph in the left. Some statistical data from 2015 to 2022, and these data show that the market of emulsions in Poland is pretty stable in terms of how it's developed for different technologies. It's used almost half of the bitumen emulsion produced in the Polish market as used for tag coats. The rest is used for maintenance or cold recycling. The rest of technologies is not that popular. In terms of history of bitumen emulsions, the Institute of Road and Bridges Research Institute, IBDIM, is one of the most important institutes that played a huge role with the development of this technology. When Poland was, in the times where Poland was not a part of European Union, this institute made first documents that were the only documents that people were using for the technologies, for emulsion technologies. So the most important are Notebook 47, guidelines for the application of bitumen emulsions, then Notebook 60 from the year 1999, the publication were revealing the rules of bitumen emulsions, of using bitumen emulsions in Poland. So very important notebook, very document guidelines. Next were guidelines for road laboratory technicians, vademecum of cationic bitumen emulsions, and then there were technical approvals for bitumen emulsion products that were also done by the institute. So these technical approvals of the many different emulsion products are also important documents that enabled to introduce new technologies on Polish market. As probably you see, the author of many of these documents was Mr. Szczepaniak. That was one of the leaders of this technology in Poland back in the 90s. Asphalt Portland, Polish Asphalt Pavement Association is an association that was founded in 2001, and from the very beginning of bitumen emulsion use in Poland, it was the topic. The bitumen emulsions were the topic from the very beginning of their history in Poland. So the association did huge work to improve the standard of bitumen emulsion use in Poland. For example, in the first period of activity of the association, the association contributed to translation of European emulsion standards into Polish and into preparation of annex for the standard 13808. And the next part of activity, so from 2018, new committee started working on bitumen emulsions, and the development of informational brochures was developed. Online trainings were launched, and work of technical documents, modern technical documents related to emulsion technologies was also started. Among meetings during the conferences, strictly connected, strictly devoted to bitumen emulsions, the conference Bitumen Emulsion and Road Constructions, organized by ICSO Chemical Production, need to be mentioned. 18 meetings in the years between 2001 and 2019 were carried out. The most common topics were new achievements in production technology, emulsion bitumen production technology, news related to standards, and legal and regulatory updates. So ICSO develops a lot of data in terms of this technology, and it needs to be mentioned that they contributed a lot to our history of emulsions. Current topics being discussed at the committee meetings. So these are committee meetings of the asphalt committees within the standardization process. So these are discussed. The topics discussed are discussion on the standard 13108-31. So this is asphalt concrete with bitumen emulsion that needs to be introduced, widely spread in Polish region, in Poland. Works on the modification of the annex to standard 13808 are also in process, and parameters of the emulsion for slurry seal used for anchoring steel immersion constructions are also discussed. So these meetings for standardization are also ongoing process, and it's also something that's now developed in terms of bitumen emulsions. Thank you for your attention, and we invite you to ask questions.